pinnacle peace, seeking perfection. It is I, Oria Omukama Royal L, here with the Illumination podcast. We'll go back and edit that. I'm here with a very special guest out in Calabar, Nigeria, for a very, very special event. And I don't want to overtalk today. I want to focus on my guest, and only I can allow him to introduce himself because he will do it much better than I can.
Thank you very much, Brother Royal L, a fellow colleague from the Al-Kibulan Sovereign Indigenous Peoples Alliance. And we have the honor today of speaking to you from the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the most interesting state of Calabar. And it is indeed our pleasure to speak with you and to all of you out there listening on my YouTube channel. Greetings, African greetings, Al-Kibulani's greetings to you. It is very interesting that, this opportunity has been provided to my colleague to speak to the world. And I, Imo Rameses Bakari, who has been in the fight for African liberation from age 11. And this year, I'll be 61.
Beautiful.
So it represents 50 years
Wow.
in the fight for African liberation.
Wow.
Out of that 50 years,
Wow.
I've also been in the fight for national redemption in Trinidad and Tobago through my involvement with the National Joint Action Committee. And of course, my dear country, of course, there are many areas that require redemption. And as a committed citizen, I must play my part. However, the African cause has always been dear to my heart. And this opportunity here, I refer to it as my return journey. My ancestors, after 400 years of chattel slavery, in the 16th century down to the 19th century, and 191 years after the Declaration of Emancipation, their son, Imo Rameses Bakari, has returned. And it's interesting to tell you that just as they were stripped of their dignity, just as when they were shackled and packed like sardines and not allowed to enjoy what human dignity represents. Many died as they were bundled onto the slave ships to make that treacherous journey across the Atlantic Ocean. But interestingly, significantly, we are here today because many did survive the brutality and the abomination that represented enslavement. Their struggle cannot compare with the struggles I had to arrive here. But nonetheless, notwithstanding the blocks that were placed before me, I made it. And it represents an important part of my journey, in that I've always said, before I depart this world, I must visit the motherland.
Yes.
And whenever I did visit, it must be on a mission. And significantly, it is a mission where the state of Calabar has provided the opportunity to partner with the diaspora through the efforts of UCAD, through the efforts of ASIPA. We are here speaking to you.
Yes.
And once African blood runs through your veins, it is important to recognize you must never deny who you are.
That's it.
Once you deny who you are, you will have great struggles in this life. Because who you are is significant and fundamental to your existence in this life.
Yes.
So all of the attempts that have been made to separate us, it is important, as the late great Marcus Garvey so profoundly and eloquently advocated, that African unity is a must.
Yes.
And that the late great Kwame Nkrumah, he said Africa will amount to nothing if there is not unity among all nations of the African continent,
Yes.
and the diaspora.
In the diaspora.
And the diaspora, as you know, has been appointed as the sixth region of Africa.
Yes.
But whilst it sounds well, we have to work together strategically, intelligently,
Yes.
cooperatively,
Yes.
to make that union worth something.
Absolutely.
So it is indeed significant that after a number of weeks where I didn't post anything on my channel, that my first post that will appear is from the motherland of Africa, specifically the nation of Nigeria. So I know that each of us has a role to play, and the sooner we can play that role, it will be better for your own development, for your country's development,
Yes.
for Africa's development.
Yes.
So the state of Calabar must be saluted for investing the time and other resources in pulling the diaspora together. This event that we are involved in here represents the assembly of 18 nations, countries such as Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Martin, Uganda, coming together to initiate the many streams of partnership that will ensue in the future.
Absolutely.
So, my interviewer here certainly would like to add something to the conversation.
Certainly.
So, Brother Royal, I give you the opportunity to say something to the people of the world about this cause that we are advocating here.
Absolutely.
Over to you, Brother Royal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Wow, that's very powerful. I'm so thankful to be here. I actually have chills right now running. I can feel my blood running through my veins because that was such a powerful, powerful bit of information that wow, I almost took my breath away. But I'm thankful to be here with someone on the stature of this wonderful man here sitting beside me, to know that he's been in this fight for 50 years is well beyond me. I have traveled to more than 30 countries at this point, and I'm so thankful to be back in the homeland, in the beginning of it all, for us, those of us who are in the diaspora, and those of us who have returned. We have faced significant challenges. So we are here representing 18 nations. And so what I actually want to touch on today is I want to flip back to my counterpart here and talk about the obstacles that he faced coming from Trinidad and Tobago, reaching here to Nigeria. And so with that being said, what were the challenges that you faced in coming from Trinidad? I mean, did you have to go to another country before you came over to Africa, or were you able to get a direct flight? Because coming from America, I was able to go to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta directly here to Lagos. And so,
that's a very important question, Brother L, in that many individuals as well as organizations and countries have been advocating for a direct flight from the Caribbean to Africa, and I guess some other destinations.
yes,
In the context of Trinidad and Tobago, we have a number of citizens who work in Africa, particularly in the oil and gas sector.
okay,
And whenever they are journeying from Trinidad or any other part of the Caribbean, they normally will take at least 48 hours to arrive. Whereas a direct flight will reach the same day, probably 8 to 10 hours,
Wow.
depending on the path you are going to. So the path that I had to travel was pretty long. I could have traveled through the US, but I have not renewed my US visa over the last 4 years. I could not travel through the US.
So you need a visa in order to travel through the U.S., even though your final destination is here in
Yeah.
Africa.
Once you touch in the United States, you must have a visa. So, I guess subsequently, I can rectify. We have had people promoted the call and making the call for African unity.
Yes.
So that is my take on it, Brother L.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so I also want to speak about, because we've been to two places while we're here. We landed in Lagos, and now we are here in Calabar. And while being here, I learned the beautiful acronym that is Calabar.
Right.
Come and live and be at rest. Yeah. Come and live and be at rest. And so now let me move specifically to Calabar, because I would like to ask you a question about this now. Are you experiencing that rest here in Calabar? And now that you have come here to Nigeria, specifically Calabar, could you ever envision yourself moving here and away from Trinidad, or do you feel that Trinidad is where your roots are, so that's where you continue your fight?
Well, I see myself as a global citizen.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
With a strong identification with the African cause, And regardless of location, whether it's Trinidad or Africa, I can be an active, and I am an active actor in that process for liberation. If it is required that I am to function from the African continent, that wouldn't be an issue. But coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, I also have a commitment to address the challenges that exist there. So as a global citizen, I can function in any space, whether it be Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be Africa, or wherever in the world, in terms of advancing the cause, right? The Caribbean, like Africa, require a lot of development.
Certainly.
And require the investment of its human resources.
Absolutely.
To act in that part, So the fact that, the diaspora is considered part of the African continent, whether I am on the continent or not, I can still play my part. But I will play my part, wherever the physical location is, right?
Absolutely.
When you talk about Calabar, that acronym is so beautiful. Come and live and be at rest, Calabar, right? And we learned from the tour yesterday to the Slave Museum that over 30% of our sons and daughters who were forcibly removed and brought into the New World to be subjected to the abomination of slavery came through the port of Calabar. And as one of the presenters rightly said, if those persons had remained on the continent, perhaps the development of Africa could have been at a greater stage.
Certainly.
And as one of the officials said last night at the fashion show, those who have left, they want them to return.
Certainly.
So, however we return, we can support the cause. Because, as I said, the developmental issues of both the Caribbean and Africa require those who are aware to do something. Do something as small as it may be. To enlighten people about the greatness of our past and the need to contribute to our continuous development.
Absolutely. And for the sake of time, because we have to move here in a bit, I have one more question, because I know that the key to our talk here is oneness and the unity of our people, no matter where we are, especially since now the diaspora is the 6th region of the continent of Africa. In your opinion, in your experience, from your wisdom, how do you think that we can all support each other throughout the diaspora and here on the continent to bring about that unity and to propel us all forward for the future?
Well, first and foremost, before one can do anything in life, all right, there must be clarity. There must be clarity as to why you are doing it, how you are doing it. All right? So anyone can come up with a project, but if you're not clear on where you want to reach, if you're not clear on how you're going to go about it,
Yes.
if you're not clear on why you are doing it, you will fail. All right?
That's
So we need love
yes, yes.
for each other.
Okay.
We need to identify ourselves properly.
Yes.
All right? Because there has been a lot of confusion in terms of ethnic identity versus nationality.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So if you are born in a particular country, you are national of that country.
That's right. That's right.
If your ancestors came from Africa and African blood runs through your vein, that commonality will identify you from an ethnic perspective as an African.
Yes.
So as you fight for the development of your own country, as you fight for African liberation, you must be clear about those things.
Certainly.
Right? You must be able to overcome the obstacles of feeling that you are inferior. But if you do not have reference points of greatness and awareness of your greatness, psychologically you will be disadvantaged on top of the damage that the slave trade did and slavery. Right?
Yes.
One author in a book called The Perspectives in Caribbean Psychology referred to it as psychic destruction, in that your original self was stripped.
Yes.
You came with an African name, it was taken away from you. You came with a language, it was taken away from you.
Yes.
You came with your own way of praising God, it was taken away from you.
Absolutely.
So you became an alien, not only being removed from your land, but also in terms of your identity.
Yes.
And any sense of African expression was suppressed. And they had to do it in hiding. All right?
Yes.
And they degraded it, they discredited it, and many people came to accept that reality. That reality, if you continue to accept that reality, you will forever be weak and floundering in the world.
Yes.
As a colleague from Suriname, Brother Kenrick Cairo, said to me recently, you cannot run an African system with European software. So my African brothers and sisters all over the world, you need to put the right software to run that African system.
Yes.
And if you get the software right, if we love each other, if we have unity with each other, if we support each other, and the organization to which we belong, ASIPA, the Archipelago Sovereign Indigenous Peoples Alliance, as we speak, is actively forging arrangements with kingdoms in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa, actively trying to, and actually have had some success in having some positions in place to build on, you know. But we need to have unity, we need to have the love, we need to have the mental clarity, as the purpose, as the vision and the mission, and do it one step at a time. And once we do it one step at a time, I am saying everything going to be fine.
Absolutely.
So to all my viewers out there listening to this channel,
Yes.
you can see, you can feel it, you can hear it, and know that this interview was indeed one of the most important that I have done, and presentation that I'm making to you. I ask you as usual to support our channel by contributing via the account information flying on the screen, via our YP and Patreon links, by buying my book Conversation, priced at $15 US, by buying the book George Weeks, priced at $25 US, Tribute to African Civilization, priced at $15 US. You can contact us for a counseling session or coaching session, to conduct a workshop, to do a feature address. Just give us a call at 1-868-778-5141, 1-868-779-2544, or email us at leadershipwithadifference. This discussion was historic, but the Royal L is from Dallas, Texas, in the United States of America, talking to his compatriot Imo Rameses Bakari, hailing from Trinidad and Tobago, meeting together in the country of Nigeria, in the motherland of Africa. One love, one love, one aim, one destiny, one Africa. Bye, and keep in check with this channel for more powerful presentation. See you again.
See you again.
And thanks for
Pinnacle Peace, Seeking Perfection, here on the Illumination Podcast. I'm so thankful to have Imo Bakari here, Elder, and just by being next to him, I feel my wisdom increasing. So with that, As he has already stated, please support the Patreon, call the numbers, get consultations, purchase the books. These books contain information and knowledge that we all need across the diaspora. So please do continue to support us, and we definitely will be back with more and more content, bringing enlightenment to our people all across the globe. Our Kibalan Sovereign Indigenous People Alliance, look out for us as we are making headway in creating the unity that we all want to see. And with that, I would like to say peace, power, and illumination.
Good man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I guess subsequently I can rectify that. However, in the absence of that, and even with that, even people who travel, who have a visa, they normally experience long hours, sometimes totaling as many as 48 hours. In my specific case, I had to go through Amsterdam. So it was a 9.5-hour flight from Trinidad and Tobago. And then from Amsterdam to Lagos, Nigeria, was another 6.5. But that's just part of the story, in that when you add the waiting time at the airport in Trinidad,
Yes.
and the waiting time at Amsterdam airport before boarding the flight to Nigeria,
Yes.
it amounted to almost 40 hours, which is, significant time, to be traveling.
Yes, it is.
But as I said in the earlier presentation, no matter what obstacle is placed before an African man who is determined to fulfill destiny,
Yes.
it has to be overcome.
Yes.
But even more than that, when I, in Trinidad, went to my own immigration department, where
Yes.
my passport was soon to be expired, and I went and I spoke with the immigration officer at the office in my hometown in Point Forte. She was very hostile from the time the word Nigeria was mentioned. And apparently she had some bad experience with some group who was also attempting to come, and she was not receptive. So I was not daunted, but I took particular note, and if that officer is listening, I want her to know that love conquers all.
Yes.
And when you are a public servant, it's a very important role that you are playing. You need to serve the public. And you cannot make a bad experience from one, rub off onto another.
That's it.
Otherwise, it smacks of a lack of professionalism. And Point Fortin has been known for a place that exudes love, And I remember when the former Prime Minister of Grenada, Tillman Thomas, visited Point. And Point Fortin has a strong background with many of its residents have been Grenadian mothers and fathers, grandmothers, or grandfathers.
Yes.
He said that Point Fortin reminded him of home away from home. And wherever people from Point Fortin travel the world, that love is evident. For example, every year in the United States, in New York, we celebrate Point Day, where people from all over come and gather to demonstrate that camaraderie. So, immigration officer, if you are listening, Point is love. Love is Point. And if you are to serve in our community, serve everyone, every creed and race, with dignity, with purpose, and with understanding and compassion.
Yes.
So I sidestepped her. I spoke with some contacts. A good friend called Anthony Richards, made a contact with an officer in Tobago, and also the office manager at the Point Fortin office of the Member of Parliament. They also made some representation. And I was able to journey to Tobago to get the interview done for the renewal. And in 2 days' time, I was able to acquire my new passport that represented an important step to make this journey to Nigeria, because you can't travel without a passport. However, I was to have received my visa to travel to Nigeria 2 days before. And up to that time, I did not receive it. On the day of travel, when I did attempt to travel, I was promised that it would arrive, but there were challenges, and when a document was sent, it was not actually the visa, but more the application for the visa. So I missed the flight. Having missed the flight, I had to rebook at increased cost.
Wow.
All right? And the flight was scheduled for Friday the 10th of October. So I was all ready again to move.
Yes.
Journeying from Point 14 to the airport in Piaco.
Yes.
And then, again, beyond my control, there was bad weather and the flight was delayed by 24 hours. So I actually made the journey beginning on Saturday, the 11th of October, and arriving in Nigeria probably around 8:30 on the 12th of October. So there was a tagline in a song that stated, "We shall overcome."
Yes.
And I did overcome.
Yes.
To arrive on the motherland, representing an important part in that journey, right? And to foster important links to make life for the people in the diaspora and on the continent a bit better from, some effective collaborative efforts that can advance the cause of African liberation. So those were some of the challenges that I had to overcome to be here. It was a stressful week, but if my ancestors could have survived the brutality of the transatlantic slave trade and enslavement, those challenges pale in significance to what I have to endure.
Absolutely. So hearing that information, me being from America and having a quite different experience when it comes to the travel. So that would move me to ask, since you have landed here in Nigeria, what has your experience been like? And I'm asking you that as an American coming here and seeing something completely different than what I've always learned about Africa. So from my point of view, what I've always learned about Africa is that, it's desert, there's children in the street, hungry, no business, just complete savagery, lions, tigers, bears, this sort of thing. And with your experience and what you're learning, how has your experience been in Nigeria? Is it contrary or is it on par with what you thought it would be?
Well, first and foremost, every country is at different points of development.
Yes.
And Nigeria became independent in 1960, as many other nations have many challenges that they are battling with to overcome. But more specifically, the narrative that you just explained is a narrative that has been used for many, many years to dissuade Africans in the diaspora from associating with Africa.
Yes.
Those of us who have an understanding of African history know that Africa provided the world with the foundation of mathematics, of science, of philosophy, and of theology. And there is a lot of evidence that can support that statement that I've just made, right? And given the fact that we walk this planet Earth as the first human beings, and every other group, not as a means of boasting, emerge from our existence, we obviously will be in the front, and being in the front, we have the civilizations of Egypt, Timbuktu, and others that speaks to our great achievement. We have our great pharaoh, Imhotep, referred to as the father of medicine, as a mathematician, astrologer, engineer, poet, a high priest, all right? And the Greeks refer to him as the father of medicine, using the term Aesculapius. Now, if you do not know that it's an African they are referring to, you will say some Greek that you will give the credit to.
Certainly.
So, the narrative of being uncivilized is false in its entirety, and they have given you the impression that we do not know about civilization when we are in fact the creators of civilization. So to expect barbarism would have arisen from a point of being misinformed. And I have always been informed about the reality of life. It doesn't mean to say that there are not major challenges on the African continent, but to give the impression that it's an unlivable place and that people, you know, do not know what life is in terms of the basics of life, well, we know, of course, it's a total fabrication. But the main objective really is to dissuade people from associating. Because as we all know, unity represents strength, and unity represents the basis of moving forward in a positive direction.
Yes.
And that is why the late great Marcus Garvey said, one aim, one destiny, one Africa. Yes. Calling for that unity.
Yes.
So long before the Organization of African States was established in 1963,
Yes.
on the 25th of May in Addis Ababa,